Can you hear me, Rajika? Hello, Rajika, can you hear me? Hello, Sindhuja, can you hear me, Sindhuja?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the students are joining. We'll wait for another 2 minutes and then we'll start.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hello, Bhuvana ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm just checking whether our audio and everything is working.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
So we'll start, ma'am. In 1 minute, we'll start.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Rajika can start. Integer?
Yes, ma'am. Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, we can start.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, all. Our desire is to extend a gracious welcome and inclusive welcome to all of you. Prayer is the most important conversation to begin our session the best. We should take it to God before we take it to anyone else. So let us start the session with prayer song.
There shall be showers of blessing. This is the promise of love. There shall be seasons refreshing, sent from the Savior above. Showers
Thank you. A welcome goes beyond words. It creates a feeling of caring and gives a sense of pleasure. I would like to call upon Ms. Josephine Musica, second year, Department of Computer Science, Nazareth College of Arts and Science, to propose welcome address.
A very good morning to one and all gathered here. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to welcome you all for this webinar on Problem Solving and Ideation Workshop. I would like to welcome our Honorable Resource Person, Ms. Bhuvaneshwari Nagarajan, Incubation Assistant Manager, Seed Fund and Accreditation, CIIC, Tamil Nadu. We welcome you, ma'am. I would like to welcome our respected Secretary, Mr. A.N. Henry Maris, Nazareth College of Arts and Science. We welcome you, sir. I would like to give a hearty welcome to our respected Principal, Dr. E. Mary Angelin, Nazareth College of Arts and Science. We welcome you, ma'am. Now I extend my beloved welcome to our Vice Principal and Head Department of Computer Science, Ms. E. Manoranjidam, Nazareth College of Arts and Science. We welcome you, ma'am. Also, I extend a warm welcome to Ms. K. Alamelu, IIC Convener and Head Department of Mathematics. We welcome you, ma'am. Once again, I welcome our resource person, all deans, HODs, and all the participants to this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine. Now I turn into the most important person, the women leader and guide of all of us, our beloved Vice Principal of Nazareth College of Arts and Science. I request Ms. E. Manoranjidam to felicitate the meeting.
Thank you, Hinduja. Good morning and very happy morning to everyone. I'm very glad that we are able to meet through this online platform on this day. Because every month and month we are meeting on this online platform, but that's a privilege we have in this century and this particular year. So I'm very glad to meet you all through this online platform. And so for today's topic is problem solving and ideation. So that's the evolving topic in the whole world. So we are also just giving some ideas and some gist to prepare students for the future generation. So first I would like to wish and thank Ms. Bhuvaneshwari Nagarajan, Assistant Incubation Manager, Seed Fund and Accreditation, CIIC. So I wish that she generously and happily accepting our invitation, and she's going to talk this particular topic. I hope we have chosen the right person on the right day. So I wish you all the best, Ms. Bhuvaneshwari. Also, I congratulate Ms. Rajika, Assistant Professor from the Department of Computer Science from Nazareth College of Arts and Science, coordinate the whole event in a very smooth and in a pleasant way. I congratulate the department also, Ms. Rajika. Also, I would like to give a small gist on the topic which Bhuvaneshwari ma'am is going to speak on this problem solving ideation. Even before she is going to speak on this particular topic, I would really like to give a 2 minutes gist on this particular topic. Like what is the idea and what are the things we have to remember when it comes as an ideation or when it comes as a problem solving. So like ideas or things that come and go very fairly and frequently in our mind whenever we see something or whenever we come across something in a situation in a particular circumstances, the ideas always springs up in our mind. However, whenever you get a great ideas, it's always good to note it down. We are all human. Sometimes we forget and sometimes we just skip all these ideas, but it's always good. The idea springs up in your mind. So it's good to write it down, and unexpectedly, definitely, or sometimes if you put your vision that it becomes a product or it becomes a good product for the coming generation. So ideas that will definitely comes for everyone in a frequent way or in a different way. So please write it down and make a note of it. And then it becomes easier for everyone to come with the great ideas, and then you just select it and you can implement it. So we need to just put up this small, just you have to have it in your mind. Also, when it comes as an idea, and you need to just have it in your mind, 3 important things. That's what I'm going to tell you, which will definitely help all of us. The 3 things which I came across in one of the magazines, like what is the idea? It means like how you generate the ideas and how you select the ideas from the particular generated list, and then how you implement for a successful ideation. So what does it mean? The first step when we say like generation of ideas. So generation of ideas meant like a specific problem. So we live in a world technology and a lot of changes, digital, so many things, and making of ideation, like you come across a lot of ideas, but you need to be very specific on what you are going to say or talk about, or what kind of idea you have. That's called, should be very specific. The problem should be very specific. So you can just generate so many ideas and you can list it down. And that should be your starting point. And the next one is selection. So selection should be done from that generated list, because we might come across a lot of specific problems, but we need to select which one we can furtherly take it down. So that's called selection. So the selection should have a criteria, and you can have your own criteria. You can talk to people, generate some criteria. According to that, you can pick up the best ideas. That's the second thing. The last one is implementation. Of course, the success depends upon this implementation as an individual or as an organization or as a group or teamwork. You have to implement and whatever the ideas you have selected. So these 3 things, I just would like to give it and hand it over to Ms. Bhuvana, because I know she is very well versed and very good in this particular area, and she will guide all of us and help us to understand. So I wish everyone for this particular webinar being going to success. And thank you for the opportunity. God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your felicitation. Now it's the time. I request Ms. Rajika, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Nazareth College of Arts and Science, to introduce our resource person.
Thank you, Hinduja. A dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievement. It begins with what you do today. Happy morning to one and all gathered here in this virtual platform. I am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the resource person for the day, Ms. Bhuvaneshwari Nagarajan. Yes, she is a postgraduate with inherent passion for research, is positively focused in hand, adept in setting up and managing business incubator, a profoundly oriented on innovative creativity, proficient in solving real-life problems with technological solutions, enthusiastic in learning and getting updated with current trends are her virtues. Additionally, she takes pride in the poetic talent and excellent management and communication skills with a dynamic vision to bring change. She received her B.Tech in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Chennai, and ME in Power System Engineering from GKM College of E&T under Anna University. She also received Leadership Training for Business Incubator Manager, PSG, from Coimbatore, Programming in Data Science and Artificial Intelligence from Virginia Tech, and also Foundation course in Entrepreneurship, Vadvani Foundation, Bengaluru. Currently, she is pursuing her PhD in Management Studies from B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. Her various roles are acted as Associate and Project Manager in Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam COE Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Entrepreneur Educator in Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Faculty Coordinator in Dr. MGR DST New Gen IEDC, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam COE in Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and Dr. MGR ERI. She also served as Startup Coordinator in Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council, BS Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. Currently, she is an Assistant Manager, Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council, BS Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. She was excellent in various skills like business model validation, business model building, problem validation, technological and business mentorship for startup networking, proposal writing, program and project management, pre-incubation and incubation coherent design, acceleration program design, entrepreneur education, entrepreneurship clubs, statistical analysis, and data analysis. I feel privileged to have such an eminent personality as our resource person on this day. Hope the session will definitely knowledge gainable, ma'am. Thank you for accepting our invite. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a very brief introduction. I've never heard somebody talking so much about me. I'm seriously delighted. So before I start, I would like to thank Henry sir, Mary ma'am, Manoranjita ma'am, Alamelu ma'am, Rajika ma'am, all the deans, HODs, and other participants available today, especially Josephine and Hinduja for hosting the event. I am seriously thank you. And once again, I thank Manora ma'am for Rajika ma'am for inviting me for this event. So can I share my screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. So just to be on the same page, are students available on audio? Can they unmute yourself and you can talk? Everybody available? Hinduja, can you unmute yourself and give me a hands up? Okay, I wanted it to be an interactive session. So any student?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Again, okay, fine. So let me. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So a very good morning to everyone. So today's topic that I was given was problem solving and ideation. I'm from Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council. So I'm Bhuvaneshwari Nagarajan. Currently, I'm serving as Assistant Incubation Manager. So I was also taking classes for students from engineering background on entrepreneurship. I'm a trained entrepreneurship educator from Vadhwani Foundation. So I've been developing business models for startups from CIIC and from others also. They reach out to me on LinkedIn asking whether their problem statements. Sorry?
Okay.
So I've been doing the business development for a few of the startups. So this is my job. You can reach out to me in the email ID or the phone number that has been mentioned. So I want to start with a basic question, and I want students to answer it. Please, I request everyone to be very attentive. So who is a businessman? Anybody from crowd, even faculties are invited. Who is a businessman? Anybody? Is my screen visible? Can people unmute yourself and talk? Who is a businessman?
Yeah, we are able to see your screen, ma'am. So the businessman, one who has some ideas and one who wants to become an entrepreneur, one who wants to give some jobs to other people. Maybe they are called businessman.
Okay, then who is an entrepreneur? Why are there two different terms, businessman and entrepreneur? What is the actual goal of a businessman and what is the actual goal of an entrepreneur? Okay, so just give me some examples of businessman. let's say
Maybe like a entrepreneurship goal, maybe they promote their independent products and make people to rely on them, and they create job, something like that. They put a platform.
okay.
I'm not sure.
Sure. See, I'm not judging anyone here. I just want answers. I just want to know where you all are. What is your idea about business and entrepreneurship? Then I can take you like why? Why are you choosing entrepreneurship? So, some examples of businessman. Can you just take random people who can be a businessman?
Definitely, the businessman who looks for profit. They are the stakeholders because they have to address the market, and they look for the benefit of the organization. Definitely, they look for the profit of what the business they do. So I think they are the business people.
So you don't think that entrepreneur wants a profit? He doesn't want to make money.
Definitely.
So here's the difference. Okay, a businessman mainly focuses on making profit for the company. It doesn't matter on whether he's creating a new innovation. He will have a lot of competitions. There will be replications of his business model, but his main focus is profit. Okay. Whereas an entrepreneur, what he does is he will see, he will empathize with the society, see for opportunities where he can tap into some unsolved problems. He will take. He is the one who will try to change with some new innovation in either technological way or in a process. Okay, so an entrepreneur mainly focuses on something new, opportunities, creating new opportunities. So a businessman, profit. Entrepreneur, profit plus innovation. So this is a basic difference. A businessman uses conventional ideas to rule the market. Just imagine there is one cloth shop or a supermarket or something. So another businessman, he will not hesitate to open a similar shop just next to his. There will be no innovation. He'll just create, money making, profit. Whereas an entrepreneur, on the other hand, he will do some crazy creative ideas. If he has a supermarket just next to him, he will create a new way of, shopping, or he will create some exciting offers, not just offers, but, some counters where people will be attracted to come and, purchase only from their supermarket. So he will go creative. He will use his creativity towards innovation. So a general example, a businessman would buy one watermelon and he will sell it with some profit. Whereas an entrepreneur, he will buy one watermelon, change it to something else and make a profit out of it. So this is some innovation. I'm not saying this is an innovation, but he will put some creativity into it so that, there is more chances of profitability. So what makes an entrepreneur? What are the characteristics? One is self-motivation. An entrepreneur needs to have self-motivation because whenever you come with an idea or any problem that you see, there will be hundreds and thousands of people saying that, hey, what is this? Yeah, this idea is already available. Why are you addressing? Nobody will buy it from you. You are going to face loss. This is one problem with, where entrepreneurs face a lot. What is more important is how are you motivating yourself? Self-motivation. Second, understand what you offer. If you do not understand what are you offering, then who will? So you need to understand what you are offering, what you are addressing. You are supposed to be, an entrepreneur is supposed to take risk. If somebody says invest 50 rupees, buy this and you will be able to make some creativity and do it, that entrepreneur has to analyze whether this risk is applicable. Will I be able to make profit? Will I be able to make something out of it? Or is it going to be into a loss? Next, an entrepreneur, if you see in any exhibition, if you go, or any demo, or any networking event, he will always carry his visiting cards. He will be very glad to circulate and give it to everyone around with his visiting cards, saying that I am this person from this company, I do this. He will not hesitate to go on stage, talk to the jury or talk to the dignitaries. He will not hesitate to network anywhere. He just needs an opportunity to talk to anybody, build his network, grow his network. An entrepreneur needs to be very flexible. What if, for example, who actually expected this pandemic would happen? Who expected demonetization would happen? But people changed according to the situation, right? So an entrepreneur needs to be flexible. Imagine when the first wave hit. I remember there were like lot of areas where this tailor shop or all these supermarkets got closed because people were not able to go and purchase there. So what they did, instead of just depending on their own daily activity, they converted their shops, small shops, into something else, like vegetable shop where people can buy during the hours where they were allowed to. So flexibility is very important for an entrepreneur. And the most important thing of an entrepreneur is the flow. A flow is different than a habit. For example, if I want to differentiate a hobby into with a flow. A hobby is something that you do when you are free, when you have a leisure time. For example, if I'm very tired after a long, working hours, I'll go and listen to music, or I'll paint, I'll draw. At least I'll sleep. Those are my hobbies. But a flow is my passion where I want to make money. Yes. For example, few people love to talk. They go into becoming a DJ or VJ. A few people have passion in networking. They will go into marketing, business development, sales. Few people are very keen in understanding people, observing people. They are actually the ones who become entrepreneur. They observe so much. They observe what are the tiny things that are missing in the society. Those are the things that people will see. These are the gaps in this society, and I need to solve this. Those are the entrepreneurs. Flow is the passion that drives an entrepreneur into what he is today. So let me come into the topic. So the topic was problem formulation. So we saw who is an entrepreneur and how he actually identifies a problem is the topic today. So let's begin at the beginning. So there are people, if, for example, I have teaching engineering students from past 3 to 4 years, and all these students, I tell you, whenever we ask them to make this final year project, what they do is they'll go to Ritchie Street, they'll go to some project centers, get a project, and try to explain why this is important, why their project is good. Instead, they don't go back and do the problem formulation. Why are you doing this? To whom are you doing this? Why is it important? So the problem identification is the main thing that needs to be started with. So it is always said that ideas are very easy. Implementation is very hard. Do you agree? Anybody from the crowd?
Yes, ma'am. It's absolutely right.
Exactly. I can say, I want to create something very similar to Taj Mahal. My idea is that, will it be possible? Implementation is so very hard. So just imagine, some people, they are not able to go out and look around the monuments from any other country. But this day, in this era, what we have is something called AR/VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, where people can actually experience the 3D and the effect of going into the monument, walking around, seeing all the artistical work around the globe. So that is how it is. When you start ideating, implementation is hard, but it is not impossible. So let us see where to begin with. So let's answer a few questions first. What makes a problem the problem? In a place where there is no one except you, how many problems can you think? I want somebody to answer for this. Just imagine there is a place where there is nobody except you. How many problems can you think? Somebody?
Ma'am, depends upon the place. It may vary, right?
Let's give you an example. Just imagine you're in your college, you're in your classroom. There is nobody except you. So tell me, how many problems can you think? anything related to the classroom, or related to the college, related to the place where you're coming, or related to the place how you were coming, like bus or anything. How many problems can you think? Any random answer is fine with me. So let's put this way. In a place with 10 people, how many problems can you expect? For example, let me take, I am in a room where it's the boardroom where there is nobody. So I would say this AC is taking a lot of time for connecting. One. Second, the internet issue was there, so I had to connect my own phone. Okay. Second issue. Third is, from the place I was coming, there was too much of traffic. I was, from the place where I'm coming, it took a lot of time because the traffic was too much. So with one person, I can count like 10 problems or more. So just imagine there are 10 people in a room. How many problems can you expect from them? A lot. So one thing that you have to understand is, one person, if he has a problem, it might not be the problem for others. Yes. If I say I have a problem of traveling, I don't like traveling, I don't want to travel, that is my problem. Is it necessary that others will also have the same problem? So that is one thing to think about. Whether these problem needs to be solved. If I'm having 10 numbers of problem, is it necessary that all these 10 problems need to be solved? If yes, which one first and which one the last? If I have to solve all these 10 problems, which will I take the first one? How will you decide which is the first and which is the last? What makes you categorize the priority is my question. So a problem becomes a problem when not just you, but others too face it. For example, when I used to teach to students, everybody used to say this M3 is a very big problem. But I never felt it as a problem because I was a person with who was very enthusiastic about mathematics. But few people had problems. So people started making, very simpler notes with all these animations for M3 for people to understand. So any problem that is not just you, but all others are also facing, a lot of people are facing, that is a problem that is very crucial. And how do you do that? A problem is not simply said, but experienced. And how do you experience? You just see the problem. அவங்க வந்து கஷ்டப்பட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்கன்னு விடாத. How about you go and experience it? You go and see how are they facing it? What are they doing right now? What is the existing solution for it? That is the problem. And how can you measure the problem? How do you measure? For example, if somebody says that is water scarcity over there, we hear a lot of problem. Like, for example, now Russia has declared Ukraine war, or just let us come for a very simpler problem. In during pandemic, there were a lot of places where there was scarcity of water also, because the people were not able to get proper supply. Cleanliness was at stake. So those were the problem. And how did you measure the problem? People go there and see and talk to those people. Yes, it's very important to know how they feel about the problem and what are the current measures they are taking. For example, when we were there, before a lot of masks started coming, before that people were not able to go out without mask. People were tying mask around, and that created a lot of other problems. So when only people started talking to other people, they got to know these are the problems, these are the existing solutions that they are making, and based on that, entrepreneurs and other industry people came out with different solutions. So one important thing about problem is called as pain points. A problem is defined by pain points. For example, if I say water scarcity, water scarcity is a very general term, and it's not something very new or something very old. It has been there since very long time all over the India. If you say no, only in Tamil Nadu it is there, or only in Andhra is there, during flood time there is a lot of water, but will you be able to drink that? So those are also water scarcity. So what is the pain point of there? People not able to drink it. If the water is available, they are not able to filter it properly, and the content TDS or any other thing. So these are some of the pain points you need to understand. And these pain points should be measurable. Measurable is not just in terms of how many people are facing, or not just about some measurement in terms of how many days. It's about how crucial it is. Yes, if for example in pandemic, if you see, the healthcare sector was the most important thing that people started focusing on. People started leaving education back after 2 years. After 2 years, students started to go to schools, right? So people started to prioritize the problems based on what? Based on the pain points. Because during the pandemic situation, what was the most important thing? People started, the death rate started increasing. There was a shortage of wards in hospitals, a lot of problems. So these were the pain points people understand. So an entrepreneur or any innovator, to be in specific, they need to understand a problem is defined only by the pain points. If you're not able to define it properly, there is something wrong. You need to work on that. Now imagine you have identified a problem. Okay, imagine that you have identified. Now to approach a solution, what are the different approaches that has been globally, people know it. There are three types: waterfall, agile, and lean. Okay, these are the very main approaches that people follow. So first we will go to waterfall. So a waterfall, if you see, it starts from the up and it falls down, right? And nobody in between can enjoy waterfall. In between, you cannot take anything from in between. Either you go up or you go down. There is nothing in between. So the waterfall approach was something very similar to that. People will start manufacturing. For example, it started in 1970s and even earlier before. So waterfall approach was mainly for, if you take textile industry or any other industry, manufacturing industry, long years back, they will start, manufacturing in bulk. So what happened is, when they started manufacturing in bulk amount, imagine thousands of shirts were produced and it reached the market. And what happened later, after reaching the market, people said, oh, it's cold here. This is not the fabric that we wanted. Just imagine all the 1,000 shirts need to be sold only after a very long time, after when the season is fine. So that was the waterfall approach, where they started producing and they will, sell it to the customer at the end of the process. So this was a very big disadvantage of waterfall approach, where a lot of resources were being used, a lot of money was being utilized, and if the requirements went wrong, the project got doomed. Just imagine, a fabric is a very small thing. You can even exchange it to other places of other parts, right? But imagine some automobile parts you are manufacturing in hundreds and you have spent around crores and crores of rupees in that. If there is one small mistake in that requirement, the entire project is a waste. And since the waterfall approach, when you come down, can you go up the same way? No, the process needs to be started from the beginning again. So there is no turning back. So waterfall approach was a very, failure model, but also waterfall approach is being used in, very small processes, like, small mini projects or something like that. Waterfall approach is being used these days. The second one is agile. So agile was introduced to overcome the drawbacks of disadvantages and drawbacks of waterfall approach. So agile is something where in each step they come and check, they validate if this is required, if this is right, what they had planned. For example, just imagine you are having a very big event, okay? A very big event you are having. And each day you come and you actually see whether it is what you had planned was good. In the beginning of the day, you actually plan that these are the things that you're going to do. At the end of the day, you check whether it has been done properly or not. If, for example, in a marketing company, what usually happens is they are supposed to reach out to at least 100 people, make 100 calls. So at the end of the day, they are supposed to tell whether they have reached that 100 number, or where is the mistake, what is the number that has fallen back, or if they are able to reach more than 100 people, what was that. So this is agile approach, where at each thing they validate whether the plan has been reached, has been actually implemented properly or not. This was the agile. So the disadvantage was the original project does not have a definite plan. So they do not have a definite plan. They'll just plan it simply, and they will check at the end of each sprints. And in agile and waterfall approach, you can see the end product reaches the customer only at the end of the process, the entire process. So there was this problem. What if you validate that is fine, and what if the customer doesn't like it because it reaches only at the end of the process, right? So there became the lean process. So in lean process, what happens is, in each step you go to your customer, ask for their feedback. For example, if you remember, if our mothers at our place, what they do, they prepare something very very new. If they start preparing some cookies or something, each ingredient, when they mix it with the batter, they will come and show you, they will ask you to taste it to find whether it is fine or not. That is one way of lean approach, where every changes that you make is based on the customer requirement, right? If the customer feels, no, it's too salty, no, it's very sugary, then mother goes again, adds some of the other ingredients or makes lesser. So this is a lean approach, where each and every step you go to your customer, ask for their feedback, and then you make an implementation, and then you go back to your customer whether they're happy with this other changes, right? So this is the lean approach. So now the disadvantage of lean is, one, it is very time consuming. Why? Because at each and every step, you go to your customer, you talk to them, take their feedback, again you implement it. That is one. It is very time consuming. Second, in the process, if for example, all the developers, if they have the same mindset, saying that everybody knows the process, everybody knows what are the changes to be done, then it's fine. If one of them fails, the entire project fails. So it needs to have some skills. So this is what I was talking about. In waterfall, they build, they release, and the customer feedback is taken. Then again, what happens? They'll go back again, the entire process, the building process is taken, and then customer feedback. In agile, what they do is, they do some building, they release, they validate it. Again, they will release, build, they will release and validate, build, release, and the end only, they take the customer feedback. Whereas in lean innovation, what happens? In every step, they build it, they release it, they take the feedback, again do. So this is an iterative process. So if you see the efficiency, lean innovations efficiency is much more than the other two, because customer interaction is being done in every step. Otherwise, in waterfall and agile, since the customer interaction is at the end, the process takes another problem. So if I'm not saying that agile is a failure, but it becomes a problem if the customer is not happy. Then again, you have to go back and the process needs to be done. So one of the methods that for creating, so we have set the approach. So now we are going for the method. So for the method, one very famous method is called as design thinking method. So design thinking is about analyzing, making plans, doing things, making your hands dirty, talking to your customers, testing it, everything together. So what we call it as ADIPT, that is empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So I'll be asking questions at the end of this session. So please remember ADIPT. So this is the 5 stages of design thinking process. So when I say design, people usually think that how it looks. People usually have this, this problem whenever the word comes design. It is the way the product looks, the way the approach is looked, or the way how user, is using it. But it is not just about how the product or the process looks. It's about the entire process, how it is designed, how it is, how the process is being carried out is what is designed. So the first step is empathize. Now I want somebody to talk. It's been a very long time. I kept talking. I want somebody to tell me what is an empathize. What is the difference between empathize and sympathize? What's the difference? Anybody? Anybody from the crowd? What is empathizing and what is sympathizing? Can somebody confirm whether I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible only.
Okay. So anybody? What is empathize? Okay. நம்ம தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவோம் பாவம் படுறது. That is called as sympathize. When you feel for somebody, like, if somebody is having some trouble and you feel very bad for that, that is sympathize. When you empathize, you put your own leg into their shoes. You start feeling the way they feel. And you say, oh, this is the problem that they are facing. That is empathizing. So when I said you have to know what the problem people are facing, it's not just knowing, you have to experience it. Then only you get to know what are the pain points that they are facing. So for example, a few of our students in my previous organization, we asked them to go to the orphanage. So they went there, they sat. So there were like people who were not able to move properly. They had a lot of problems in and around places. So they observed them. The first thing about empathizing is observing. Very important. If you don't observe, how will you know? It's not just people telling, my ma'am said this is a problem, I want to do this problem. No, it's not that way. Even if people are saying, have you seen it? So that is one important thing, observation. Observe what they are doing. How are they doing? How are they feeling about it? Ask questions in a way that nobody can expect. You ask some questions where they get stuck. That is the problem that they are facing. Shadow yourself. Shadow as in, அவங்க நிழல் மாதிரி இருக்கணும். இப்போ அவங்க ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் ஃபேஸ் பண்ணாங்கன்னா நிழல் மாதிரி பின்னாடி போய் what is that they are facing, how are they doing it, and what is the solution that they are expecting, and if I make this solution, how easy will that be for them? So, and any problem they are facing, be non-judgmental. For example, when I said a problem faced by others will not be a problem faced by you. For example, a person can be a travel loving person, a person cannot be. So you have to be non-judgmental when you're observing. So that is one thing when you're formulating. So your problem may not be others' problem, and others' problem may not be yours. Very important. So once, just imagine you have seen what the problem is. Now you have to define it. Customer is the sovereign. Why are you doing? To whom are you doing? Is very important. So when you are doing a problem statement, you have to define யாருக்காக நம்ம இதை பண்றோம். Not everybody can use it, right? Even if I say Amazon platform, people say everybody uses Amazon platform, but I can tell you number of people who do not use Amazon platform. There are a lot of senior citizens who do not know how to use smartphones, hence they do not use Amazon. There are a lot of people who do not have smartphone. In rural India, a lot of places where there is not even delivery services, Amazon is not being used. So there are problem statements. Any solution that you take, it's not necessary that everybody can use it, right? So you need to define for whom are you doing it, for what are you doing it, and how are you going to do it. Yes, what, why, and who is very important to answer. So when you are formulating a problem, you need to tell a story. You simply cannot say water scarcity. You have to say, I went to Kerala for a visit, and there happened the flood problem. There was a lot of water everywhere, but there was no water for me to drink. And when the water came for drinking, it was not pure enough. A water should be senseless, tasteless, it should be odorless, it should be colorless, but I could see everything there. So this is a story that you need to build. Not build, you have to experience. That's the reason we ask you to go there and observe and empathize. That's how you build up a story. Be clear in the definition of a problem. You cannot say I'm doing for every person. You cannot do for pan India. There are people who will not use your product. So very clearly you define your problem, make a connection. So imagine you're doing something for something for somebody. Without a connection, you cannot do a problem, a proper problem solution for that. So you need to have a connection to that. So when I say who is your customer, for whom are you doing, you have to understand two things: customer and consumer. A customer is a person who pays for that, and a consumer is the one who uses it. You have to clearly differentiate a customer from a consumer. If you ask me who is the person you need to focus on, a customer or a consumer, I would say both. Imagine, um, imagine my mother purchases something for me, if for me to use it. If I am not happy, the next time my mother will not purchase that for me, right? So here my mother becomes a customer since she is paying for that, and consumer is me who is going to use it. For example, if you take a course, okay, you are taking a course, your father or mother pays for it. So your father or mother becomes your customer, and the consumer would be you. So if in case they don't see you performing well in a course, your father and mother will not be happy to pay back, right? So similar way, you have to address both customer and consumer. Both concern are very important. So how do you define a problem? On what basis? So one very important thing is you have to go and talk to people, right? So when you are talking to people, what are you going to talk? Will you ask, where are you coming from? What are you doing? What is the problem? And in that problem, what are you going to specifically ask for? That is called as building the customer profile, interviewing them. இப்போ நம்ம ஒருத்தவங்க கிட்ட கேட்க போறோம் என்னென்ன இருக்குன்னா, what are the things you need to actually understand? First is, what is their background? For example, imagine I'm building a course, okay? I'm building a course which is of 1 lakh rupee. Imagine I am going to ask a rural India population, do you think that people will come and accept the offer? Will they come and purchase the course? No, because my target customer is different. So you need to build up a profile, proper profile. You have to understand what is the locality, what is the background, what is the income of the family, how many people are there, and what is the educational background of that family. Only if they understand the course. If, for example, MBA in Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Venture Development is one of the courses that we offer, we are not targeting everyone. Even if we target everyone, do you think that every people will come and ask for the course or join for the course? No, only the people who understand what is an entrepreneurship, who understands what is there in business, what is there to create job, will come and ask for the course, and very few people will take the course. So you need to understand what is the profile of the customer. You need to understand what are the pains that they are facing, the pain points, and what are the gains that they want. For example, let us take an example of Ola. I want somebody to answer now. Who has used Ola here? Anybody? Who has used Ola? Students, anybody? Nobody has used Ola? Ola cabs?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't? Why do you use Ola? Hello?
Hello. Yeah, yes, I've used Ola.
Yeah. So what was the thing that you take Ola over the other auto or any other services that are available?
Honestly speaking, I don't like to take Ola Auto itself,
Oh
but
my God.
some, yeah, because no, a lot of confusions. They say one price, and when they come and pick you up, they say some other price. So that's the reason. But still, we prefer sometimes Ola because that's cheaper than other autos or other cabs
Yeah.
comparatively.
Okay, great. So, one thing why Ola was introduced was, imagine those days where we have to go out hunting for auto rickshaws. Will they come? And they would, unreasonably, they'll ask 500 rupees for even 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers. These problems used to happen a lot of time. And just imagine in emergency cases like, at night time or any other time when there were, we were not able to access cash or during demonetization, lot of problems used to happen. So Ola cabs came to actually help customers to book wherever they are. So you need not go out and hunt for auto rickshaws or cab services. You can choose your own cab. Which type of cabs you want? Do you want auto? Do you want to take a cab, or you want SUV? So all these things Ola introduced so that people wherever they are, they can book their cab facility. One thing. So they understood what the problem was. AC irka இல்லையா இல்ல வந்து cash payment இல்ல card payment இல்ல UPI payment, that those are all different. But the actual problem that they addressed was, wherever you are, you can book the cab. That is one. So the pains that people faced was something different. Gains, what they wanted was different. Why do you think Ola has Ola Play, those tabs, ACs, or any other coupons? So these were some other things that they identified, but the problems were different. So what I wanted to tell was the difference between job to be done and a problem, a pain. A job to be done is something very simple. I'll give you example. Imagine it's very sunny outside, it's very hot outside. I am with my friends, okay? We need some place to rest. So what we do, I go to McDonald's. Why? If I go to, I take my friends over there, we sit there, we eat. So my job to be done over there was only to escape from the sunny climate. It's not I want to eat, but I want to take rest in a very cheap place. Otherwise, just imagine going to CCD or Starbucks, which actually is not at all affordable. But I go to McDonald's, I spend around 1.5 hours. So my job to be done was just to have an ambience with my friends, very cool ambience where there is AC, where you can sit for a longer time, chat with friends, nobody will ask you anything. Okay? That is my job to be done. What are the pains and gains? That is something different. So, for example, in the case of Ola, wherever you are, they will come. You can book your own cab. That was job to be done. The pains that they faced was, cash payment, card payment, and sometimes giving directions to Ola cabs that I have to reach only here. Do not take other way. So these were some of the pains. What are the gains that they wanted? They wanted coupons. They wanted free rides. They wanted coupons. They wanted some songs during the journey. So Ola Play was introduced. So these are the different profiles. Now value proposition is something what you create in terms of what customers have asked for. Your customer jobs would become your products and services. What are the customer jobs, and how are you going to do? I'm going to build an application that would make the customer to book cabs wherever they are. They need not do anything. Now all the pains will be your pain relievers. Whatever the pains were, bargaining, it's a fixed cost. You can raise complaint if they ask for more money. And the other problem was, I do not carry cash a lot. What is the problem? This is a pain point. So the pain reliever was what? You can pay through Ola. You can pay through Google Pay. You can pay through card payment. Gains, I want some entertainment during my journey. So introducing Ola, I want lesser, since I'm using Ola a lot, 10 rides in 1 month. I need some concession. Okay, you take 5 rides, the 6th ride will be free for you. The 6th ride you can avail 50% off. All these were gain became gain creators, pains became pain relievers, and the customer jobs became the products and services. This value proposition is the entire base for an entrepreneur. So we have spoken about what is job to be done. Job to be done is the very basic job that needs to be solved for the customer. You need to understand what are the pains, what is the job to be done. Very basic thing is the job to be done. So as we have already stated that. So whenever it comes to a lot of pains, you have to prioritize which one you have to do first. So I gave already an example of the pandemic issue. Education was a problem. Healthcare was a problem. Food was a problem. Shelter was a problem. Travel was a problem. What was the first thing that people started concentrating on during pandemic? The healthcare sector, right? Second was the food. Waste management, that became the third. Nobody expected that education, travel would become the last problem. So these are the things. So when you are trying to, building a customer profile, you need to connect using the problem interviews that I already spoke. You have to go and talk to the customers, understand, put that, identify the pains, gains, create a list. Now, the third thing is ideate. Ideate, change the world, go random. Randomly, you can say. So, what is the first thing when it comes to a problem and you want to ideate it? A problem needs to be solved only through list of things. So, first thing is, imagine you are 5 people in a team. One person comes with an idea. That person is like, okay, we are going to solve this problem, and this is the solution that I think it should be. Imagine the other 4 comes with 10 different ideas. Will you not even ask them, or will you not even let them talk about it? What if one of the ideas from the other 4 becomes the top idea, which is the best fit idea? So that is called as brainstorming, where you sit with your team, you sit with your mentors and start discussing on the problem, and you start discussing on random solutions. You start jotting down. I remember your vice principal started saying that, you need to jot down all the ideas. It's very important. When you start noting down, you will see that you can track all the ideas that you have listed down. What are the things that is feasible and what are the things that is not feasible? If one thing is not, viable for you, you can go back and change that. That is the lean approach, right? So brainstorming is very important. So what you do next, you have to check for the feasible. If all the ideas are feasible, if it is not, you check, you cut it out. Then you also have to see the resources availability. Imagine there was one of my students who were working on this coir project. Coir is the outer fiber of a coconut, right? So latex company from Kerala, they had this problem that a lot of coir is being wasted. I want to do something with that. So my students, they came out with something called acoustic panels, okay? So using those waste coirs, they will create a beds of acoustic panels, and they will install in the studios or theaters, places like that, where the noise reduction will be very way too more. The absorption was fine, everything was fine, but the problem that they actually faced was the resources availability. My student team was in Chennai. The resources were only available in Kerala. Okay, so the transportation cost, the availability. So whatever they proposed, when they saw the amount of coir being used for one set of acoustic panel was way too more than they had calculated. So the resources availability is very important. Then you prioritize. Lot of problems are there. You need to prioritize which problem I'm going to solve first. And based on the ideas, you can also prioritize this solution will act for this problem, and this solution can also solve the other problems. The second last is the technical and business check. So when people say this idea will make me money, they don't see how difficult it is to produce that. The technical thing. Imagine I am saying I'm creating a robo. Okay, I'm creating a robo for an incubator or a student check where the robo will go and take signature from all the students during the examination. There is no it's an efficient way of invigilating during examination or something like that. I make, imagine there is technically you can prepare it, but will there be money making in that process? Will there be profit? Whom are you going to sell it to? Will there be a business? So you need to check both technical feasibility as well as business feasibility. So back of the envelope, I'll come later how it is. The fourth point is prototype, where you make your hands dirty and you create something. So whatever idea you have jotted down, all the ideas, you with the available resources, you take and you create something and you test it. So the fourth point is prototype. So a prototype, when we actually ask students to build a project, usually students come to us saying that we do not have fund, ma'am. We need money for creating this. But let me tell you, it is really not important. So there are a few principles that I want to talk about. One is, I will quickly go because the time is running. So one is bird in hand. Start with whatever you have. Do not dream for big things with whatever limited sources you have. So you start with small things. Big things will happen in the way. So if you have cardboards, you have something, small things, start creating whatever with whatever you have. Start showing it to people. They will get a confidence in you that you have created something and this is feasible. Start with whatever resources you have. Second is affordable loss. Affordable loss is something where you calculate the risk. If I'm investing, need to check whether this 1,000 rupees will give back my 1,000 rupees or will it right losses. Third is the lemonade principle. Lemonade principle is where, imagine there are problems. You create a solution out of it. For example, this one, there was a so what he did was he started to create French fries. So when he was preparing this French fries, a few of them started complaining that the potatoes are so thin and crispy that they were not able to use the fork to eat the French fries. So that is when the chef came up with this idea of creating potato chips. So from French fries, the potato chips were born only when there were a problem. When people started giving problem, that problems became the opportunity for that person. So you have to leverage the contingencies, turning the problems into opportunities. Patchwork quilt is something when you understand that you do not have few resources, or you want to network or collaborate with few other people to before, but they then collaborated with Mastercard and Discover, where they were able to tap into their customers as well as their own customers. The pilot in the plane is something where every entrepreneur needs to have, that he has to take responsibility of the steering wheel when he's sitting back at the when he's riding the car. The whole he's the sole person to take the whole control of the entire journey. He takes care, he takes the decision, he takes care whether what opportunity needs to be taken, what needs to be the risk need to be taken, what is need to be dropped off. So these are some of the principles that I want to talk about. So prototype building that I wanted to say is, start with the available resources. Start proving the technology that you are trying to build. You have to check the feasibility. The efficiency is very important. If you are building something, it's very important whether what you have built meets the requirement of the customer and how efficient is it. And do not waste your time just talking just to your friends, but also to the mentors, to your teachers, different industry people. Go out and talk to experienced people. So the last one is test. So once you build the prototype, the last thing that you need to do is validate your idea. You cannot keep it and saying that this is my idea and everybody will buy it. Have you validated with your customer? Is he happy that whatever features that you have given is fine? So testing, why are you testing? With whom are you testing? If good, then what? If not, then what? For example, you have created some robo, some prototype you have created. It is good. Then you finish it like a product. Just do not launch it like a prototype. You make it like a product and then do the feasibility check, the cost, the price, how much do you want the fund. You go in that way. What if the customer do not like it? No problem. Just go back, do the design thinking process again. You go back, empathize, then again talk to customer. Where did I go wrong? You give me points, you give me feedback. How else do you want it? You do not like pink color? Tell me which color do you like. I will paint it for you. So that is how design thinking works. So once design thinking is over, you need to go for funds, right? So you need money and you have to go. An innovator becomes an entrepreneur only when he starts making money, when he starts seeing money, spends money, and he knows that money is one of the main important resources that is being needed. So one thing is you need to understand how many revenue streams are you doing. I'm just giving you a heads up. We can have a session later on this. So I will end up my session with this. So how do you define your right idea? One, it should be feasible. Second, it has to be affordable. People have to come and buy it from you. Imagine people are ready to spend only 20 rupees, but you're keeping 50 rupees. So how about the 30 rupees more? Where will they go? So if you are creating costly, making costly products, you need to understand which customer are you targeting. So affordability is one of the main criteria for the right idea. How easy is to use your product is another thing. Imagine you are creating something for rural India or for a child. Imagine how a child will use it. So the right idea should be very easy to use. The fourth one is changes the tradition. The right idea will change the traditional manner. Remember the example that I gave you for the Ola. Imagine people long back standing for hours and hours for buses or waiting for private cars for booking for late night airport drop or pickup. So these things have changed a lot. Ola and Uber, when they came into the market, they have changed the traditional method. And the right idea should inherit very low maintenance. Imagine they purchase for 10,000 rupees and the maintenance charge itself is 5,000. Imagine 15,000 the whole cost for 1 year. Will the customer be happy? So imagine if the maintenance is very high. Will there be scalability? Will the customer again buy it? So that is the another thing. There should be a scalability. There should be an update every time. So Ola, when they started with something, and then they actually, they started introducing lot of updates in that. Let it be coupons or UPI ID or, recharging. You can send money through Ola Money from one person to another. From different parts of the India, you can book cabs. See, for example, my family is in Delhi. From Chennai, I can book cabs for Delhi. I can even book for some other time. So these are some scalability criteria that you need to understand. How much trust can you build for your customer is one important thing. So that depends on the efficiency of your product. Imagine you build one product like a fan and that fan stops or it bursts out. Will the customer come and purchase from you? Instead, he will go making wrong reviews about your products. So it's very important to build customer trust and customer channel. So the next one is availability of resources. I've already said, do not go for resources that are not available in very very nearby. For example, a lot of companies that I know, startups and all, they depend on products from China. So their cost of the product increases when they are exporting from other countries. So go for some very simpler technologies, whatever is available in the market. So last one, since if you have to have a profit, you need to use some methods and the resources very easy. So imagine you need a lot of skills and labors to build a product. You are investing a lot of money into that. So an idea should be also easy to produce. And there should be no competition that can copy your idea. Imagine I create one application, I start generating revenue. A company better than me, who has a brand better than me, he comes and he takes over. So an idea should be very important, not to tap into the competition. You have to create your own market, no dependency on the market which is already available. So this is all about it. I will cut my presentation from here. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I actually had a lot of things to convey. We can have another session also for this. I just wanted to talk about ideation as well as the follow-on steps for the students, but I think it will take a longer time. Maybe next time I can continue with cost and other things, business model.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Session was so interesting and knowledge gainable.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Any questions from any participants? I'm ready to take questions.
Dear participants, this is your session to clarify your doubts.
Ma'am, good noon, ma'am.
Hi, Deepika. Tell me.
Ma'am, how should we prioritize problems, ma'am?
As I said, it completely depends on the pain points. So imagine one pain point has thousands of people facing it, and it is the actual problem right now. Then you face it, then you start ideating for that first, rather than something which is very less, having less pain points or less intensity. As I said, example, pandemic, lot of people started facing healthcare problems first இருந்தது, அதுக்கப்புறம் wastage வந்தது, transport, education, and shelter எல்லாம் வந்து பின்னாடி போயிடுச்சு. So you need to prioritize based on the pain points that people are facing. How many people are facing? What is the intensity of the problem? And if I create solution, how many people will adapt it? So based on that. Thank you.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Hinduja.
how can we get self-motivated, or in what way we can get motivated, ma'am?
One thing is very important, your team. I have analyzed that. When I was a student, when my team was very boring, I went for only solutions which were very simple, very easily accessible, nothing challenging. But when you start creating, go network around. It's not necessary that you have to do project or create an entrepreneurial journey only with your friends. You go out, talk to so many people, understand what they are going into, and then you create awareness among yourself. That is how self motivating starts, creating awareness for yourself first. So I'm able to talk this only because when I started, going out to a lot of incubators, talking to so many students, startups, and understanding why they are doing this. What they are doing is very different. Why are they doing this is very important. So motivating yourself is keeping in the same pace, the team, the mentorship, the activities that you do. So these are some of the things that keeps you self motivated.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Anytime. Next.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I'm Josephine, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi, Josephine. Yeah, tell me.
What is the purpose of brainstorming, ma'am?
Brainstorming, imagine you are 5 people in a team, okay? You are going out and you really want to buy something from one place, but one person in your team says, no, we are going only to another place, we are not going anywhere. So what happens is the other people never get any chance, okay? And imagine the other four people, they wanted to go somewhere, was better than the place the one suggested or compelled by one person. So a brainstorming gives importance to each and every person's idea. That also gives the self motivation for all the person in a team to stick to a team. Imagine you are working in a team where only one person says and the other people do it. That is nothing challenging. You are just doing a job. You become an entrepreneur when you get an opportunity to talk, you let out your decisions, you talk it out your opinions. So brainstorming is very important to have a team interaction, to explore all other ideas. People can say இந்த ஐடியா வந்து இப்படி wrong-ஆ போக வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. So that is how discussion starts and you start brainstorming on better ideas.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anytime. Anybody else?
Feedback link is posted in chat box. Participants, please fill it up to get your e-certificates.
Okay. Ma'am, I think that is it, ma'am. Thank you so much for
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I am accepting your statement that ideas are easy and implementation is hard.
Yes, ma'am.
As an incubator, do you have any tips, or we have to set any sort of protocols to implement our ideas in an easy way?
Ma'am, yeah, sure. First thing is creating awareness, ma'am. If you
Creating.
talk to your students, you have to first understand them. Let's take the design thinking process itself, ma'am. We have to empathize with the student. First thing is,
Okay.
everybody has different interest, ma'am. One person will have interest in robotics, the other person will have interest in something simulation or something like that.
Yes, of course.
But what happens is when people do not hear their interest, they lose interest in the entrepreneurship itself. For example, one person will have interest in food sector னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க மேம். அவங்களுக்கு food
Okay.
sector பத்தி அவங்க கேட்கலனா ஐயோ இதெல்லாம் எதுக்கு இருக்கு அப்படினே ஆயிடுது. So you need to have interaction with from different sectors with the student. இப்போ ஒரு கிளாஸ்க்கு நான் எடுக்கிறேன்னா not all the 30 people will ask questions because few people will think it's boring. But if you bring 30 people to talk to 30 people, that happens awareness and taps வரும் மேம். அப்படிதான் வந்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து நியூ ஐடியாஸ் வர்றதுக்கு வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்கு. If they go and visit different places, I'm inviting you all. You come to our place, you see different facilities, you interact with our students, the events, the facilities எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் will think இது எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றாங்க, ஓ இதுக்காக கூட யூஸ் பண்ணலாமா, நானும் இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணலாமா அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஐடியா வரும் அவங்களுக்கு.
ஓகே ஓகே மேம். ஓகே.
ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து இவ்ளோ பெருசா இருக்கு, எனக்கு இந்த ஐடியா இப்படி பண்ணணும், ஆனா இதை எப்படி பண்ண முடியும், யாரு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவா, அப்படியே ஸ்டாப் ஆயிடுவாங்க மேம். They know there are facilities, resources available. So we are helping students to facilitate all these things. So we are calling them out. So let me very officially invite you all on 28th and 29th. We are having March 28th and 29th. We are having demo day, ma'am. You all are invited here.
Okay.
You can bring in your students. We will formally send you email, asking you all to participate. You can come, ma'am. All CIIC startups, in the startups எல்லாம் என்ன ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் வச்சிருக்காங்க, எப்படி பண்ணிருக்காங்க, அவங்களுக்கு ஸ்டால்ஸ் கொடுத்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஃபேக்கல்டி எல்லாமே வந்து அங்க present பண்ணுவாங்க. So you all can come.
So that definitely they will get an idea, right?
Sure.
So day by day, in the day-to-day life, we are getting lot of ideas from all the things, not only from a single thing, from all the things.
Exactly. And the other problem is students when they want job னு வந்துட்டா அவங்க காசு மட்டும் தலையில இருக்கும். So அதுல என்ன ஆகும்னா அவங்க வந்து ஒரு MNC ஒரு பெரிய கம்பெனில ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது ஒரு பெரிய கோஆர்டினேட்டர் will give them இந்த ஒர்க் முடிச்சிருங்க, இந்த எக்ஸல் முடிச்சிருங்கன்னா அவங்க அதை மட்டும் தான் யோசிப்பாங்களே தவிர அதுக்கு மேல எப்படி போகிறதுன்னு அவங்களுக்கு ஐடியா வராது. அதனால தான் we tell students to work in startups. ஸ்டார்ட்அப்ஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது தான் ஸ்டார்ட்அப்ஸ்க்கே ரிசோர்சஸ் கம்மியா இருக்கிறதால they will ask them to do some project work. அப்பதான் உங்களுக்கு ஐடியா கிடைக்கும் இந்த மாதிரி சிமிலரா வருமா. இப்போ ஃப்ரெஷ்வொர்க்ஸ் இஸ் ஒன் ஆஃப் தி பிகெஸ்ட் கம்பெனிஸ். அவங்க வெளியில வந்ததே வந்து ஜோஹோல ஒர்க் பண்ணி. So Zoho was a startup. That founder worked with Zoho and they came out with a very different idea. And now they are also one of the hits.
Fine. Super, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Anytime, ma'am. Anytime.
Okay.
Anybody else? Any questions? Or we can... Ma'am, I think that is...
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session.
Thank you so much.
Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Words by Henry Watt. I like to call upon Ms. Deepika, second year, Department of Computer Science, Nazareth College of Arts and Science, to deliver vote of thanks.
A very good note to all. I feel proud and honored to get this beautiful opportunity to give a vote of thanks. In this time, my sincere thanks to Almighty God for making today's event a very great success. By His blessing, we are able to make today's event what it was. With wholeheartedly, I wish to thank our honorable resource person, Ms. Bhuvaneshwari Nagarajan. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts. Next, I would like to thank our honorable secretary, Mr. A.N.N.G. Maris. Thank you, sir. Next, I could like to thank our respected principal, Dr. E. Mary Angelin. Wholeheartedly, thank you, ma'am. Also, I could like to thank our beloved Vice Principal and Head Department of Computer Science, Ms. E. Manoranjitam. Thank you, ma'am. And also, I like to thank our Dean of IIC Convener, Ms. K. Almelu. Thank you, ma'am. And finally, I extend my gratitude for all our deans and head of Nazareth College of Arts and Science. And also, I thanks non-teaching staffs and lab admin for his support. Once again, I feel gratitude for all our participants for making this event a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, Deepika. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. You may leave the session. Thank you, ma'am.